Morning, everybody. My name is Steve Barnes. I work for NCFI Geotechnical. I work on the technical service side. I've been here for about 4 years, a little over 4 years. I've got about 13 years of experience doing geotechnical polymers. The rest of my career has been underground construction. We've been wanting to put together a library of videos that's easily accessible to customers and anybody to be able to maintain and kind of maintenance their equipment. I'm going to start off with a relatively important one that's pretty easy. This is going to be a GX-7, Graco GX-7 or PMC, PX-7 mechanical purge gun cleaning. This is going to simulate we're working in the field and something happens to the gun. I start going off pressure. I get a full stoppage on one side. Majority of the time it's going to be inside the gun. Very easy to fix. Just takes a little bit of time to clean it up, and then you're back in service. For brand new customers, don't get frustrated. Expect 20 minutes, 30 minutes if you really take your time to do it. Get a couple cleanings in under your belt. You're going to be in and out of this gun within 10 minutes, 12 minutes. Open the front of it up, clean it out, redo the mix module, put it back together. Maybe 10 minutes, you're back in service. This eliminates, hey, talking to the customer, I got to pull off, something broke, I got to call the shop, I got to head back, I can't make it today, the gun's not working. But that's not going to happen. You can be able to clean this and be right back into service. So, all right, I am inside. So we're going to show you a little bit of cleaning. Compressed air. I don't think they want me shooting carb cleaner inside. So that's going to be our cleaner for today. It's going to simulate where I'm going to spray carb cleaner to clean out any of the areas. Obviously, nitrile gloves. Protect yourself, protect your hands. You want to go home. Nobody needs to be getting sick from a chemical. Eyes, take care of them. Please wear your eye protection. Okay? So I'm going to slide over here and I'll show you what we're looking at. Tool-wise, this is a basic set for tools that you're going to need just to get this gun back into service, right? Combination wrenches, 1 inch, 7/8, 5/8, ½ inch, your pin vise with the 39,000th of drill bit. A couple brushes, a smaller one for the front, bigger one for the side seals. Then you're going to have a dental pick and a 5/16 and some rags, okay? So come back over here, grab these 2 wrenches, come back to the gun. Now, the gun's normally going to be in a vise. Obviously, you can see I got the old kitchen Lazy Susan, but in the vise, it's not going to move around, so these aren't going to be as tight as they would in the field, right? I'm going to use this 1 inch to take the pressure off of it, all that torque and stress. If I went at this thing's locked in a vise. If I put my 7/8 on here and go to tightening and loosening this all the time, all of that force goes through the gun block and up into the gun neck right here, the neck that's you're going to hold everything to the body. Over time, you're going to warp this neck, bend it, loosen it, crack it. You're going to start messing with the screws. This is over time, but stuff is expensive. There's no sense in replacing it if it doesn't have to be replaced because it was broken. So, right. So we're going to take our 1 inch. Come up here. Now I do have this very loose. All right. So I'm going to put my 7/8 on here. I'm going to break that free. My left hand right here, I'm holding all that pressure. I'm using this to relieve that pressure. Once I get it loose, I can go ahead and come off of it. Right. Now, before any of this starts, manual valves are closed. Coupling block is off. If you choose to take it off, I can do the whole gun clean and reset with the coupling block on, as long as the manual valves are closed. You don't have to take the pressure off. It helps, it makes it easier, less maneuvering around with the hose and all that stuff. So once I crack that free, I usually put a rag over, or under, under the side seal. Right? I'm going to take this, take it off, and let that sit in the rag. I'm going to have a little bit of material that's going to drain out. Trying not to make a mess. I want my truck, I want my guy's truck, I want it to look nice. They're the representation of the company when they go out to customers. So I'll take that, set it aside, This I can do over a trash can. I'm gonna take my carb cleaner, real good cleaning on that, and I'll set this aside. I'm gonna take my carb cleaner, go inside my side seal here, and I'm gonna clean that out, right? Don't need to inspect it now, still got a little bit of work. Take the pressure off, 1 inch, 7/8. I'm gonna loosen. Now, with a new towel, remember, I don't want to take my A and directly put it onto my B. Okay, spun around here. So I usually just tuck it up underneath the gun block, back that off. Same thing, get it to where it comes off, let the residual drain out. I can toss this, put this over the trash can, spray it, right? So I got my A, my B, both of them set aside. Give this another quick spray. My B side is clean, okay, or blown out. I will still go in and inspect it before I get too far. So now I've got both of these off. I still have one part that has actual chemical in it, and that is going to be the front right here. This is my PCD body, the silver piece that's on the front. You can see let's see if I can point to it. This is the valve rod sticking out. You can see it's barely sticking out, and I'll get to that later, the proper depth for it. The brownish dark around the valving rod, that's very front of your mix module. And then this nut right here, 5/8, is your PCD body. Inside here you have a very small amount of material, but you still need to get it out and you still need to maintain your mix module. Okay, that's where 5/8 is going to come. I take my thumb, go in behind on the back side of the gun block, get my 5/8 on, take the rest of my fingers and smash that 5/8. Sandwich everything together. That way I can break that free. Okay? Reason for that is if I am on this and I keep rounding this edge off, round it off, round it off, round it off, I'm not paying attention, I'm in a hurry, it's Friday, I want to go home, something like that, and I keep rounding it off. What that does is, this is the mating edge, is the gun block and the PCD body. Where they mate together, it's going to keep flaring it. Eventually, I'm going to flare it enough to where I can't make a good seat, and it's always going to leak, right? So the three parts on this gun that you 100% have to protect: mix module, which we're going to get to, PCD body, which I'm working on now, and the valving rod that goes through the inside of this gun. Okay? So we'll get this loose, that, where I can get it by hand. Okay, don't need air as of yet, but I will shortly. Okay, my PCD body, I'm going to come over to this other camera. PCD body, I'm going to take this off, and you'll see when I take this off, the mix module is going to stick inside. Hand out of the way, right? So there it is. Two different pieces, right? No big deal. We'll be able to get that out without damaging it. I'm going to take my PCD body, blow any chemical out. I might have a little residual on there. Obviously doing it over the trash can, not making a mess. So right now I'm going to hook up air. Okay. So now I've energized air into this system. Being a mechanical purge, doesn't do anything, it's not going to make any difference. I have my side air closed, I don't have to worry about that. Okay, so if you can see, there's nothing to grab onto right here for this mix module. Okay, do not use pliers. The second you put pliers on it, it's ruined. You're going to flare it, you're going to damage it, it's not going to fit back into the PCD body. It's going to be a useless piece after that, right? So my safety's on, okay? Now I'm going to take my trigger, depress it once, just on off, and let's see here. You'll see how far it's going to come out, okay? If we're looking to the right here, mix module is going to move. Came out a little bit. I still can't really grab it and get enough purchase on that to get it out of there. You got to remember, it's going to be a little bit of chemical, still slippery. I'm going to take my safety, go off with the safety. I'm going to do the same thing, depress trigger one time. Now, this mix module is sticking out far enough that I can just grab it and remove. Okay, so I immediately, when I take that off, I immediately want to give it a good spray. I really want to get that chemical off of there. Bigger holes, like the openings on the other side, your side seals, your mix, we'll call it a mixed chamber there where the module goes. Reacting material in there is easier to get out. I can kind of pick at it a little bit easier. It's metal. It's not going to be as, I can use air and blast it out. Not as big of a deal. This has 2 39,000th of an inch holes in it. Once that material starts reacting in there, it gets tougher to get out. Okay, so I'm going to give that a really good spray, get all the stuff out of there. I also want to spray inside there, right around where the mix module goes. Any residual material, remember, make your job as easy as possible and make the transition from you showing up to the customers to the time you get home, make it smooth. Don't create work for yourself. Right? So we've cleaned all that off, right? Safety's going to come off, obviously. Gun ain't working. Got our manual valve shut. I'm going to go with a 5/16. This 5/16 is dual purpose for these guns, both of them, the GX-7 and the PX-7. 5/16 is going to take the valving rod out. You're also going to have 5/16 at the very top of the gun. Let me step away and I will get the demo gun and we will show that. Okay. Take this, the GX-7 out of the way. Now this is a PX-7, okay? Same exact operation. Ergonomically, a little bit different, but there we go. Okay, so looking over in the side one here, and if I can line this up, this is where this top, see at the very top up here, up and down where my pick is, going down to the brass. That's what that set screw is up on top there. And those brass pieces, you can see where it comes out the gun in the front here is one piece. That sits on this cylinder here that goes forward and back. That's going to adjust the throw of your valving rod. Right? So if it's too far out, I can adjust it back. If it's too far in, I can go the opposite way and bring it out. So what that is a screw. Now, obviously this one's cut in half. It won't hold the screw or the bushing that goes in there. At the very bottom is a nylon bushing that presses up against the brass threads. That screw at the top is what creates that force to hold it in. So I want to loosen that. Not 100% mandatory to do this cleaning, but I'd like to get customers in the habit of doing it, because if you do have to adjust, you know that it's loose. If I don't loosen it and I try and adjust, it chews that bushing up and then you have to replace it. So we'll set that out of the way, come back to our working gun here, okay? So now we've got our 5/16 at the top. We'll loosen that, right? Just loose, finger loose, that's fine, problem solved right there. I don't want to take it all the way out because that bushing is tiny. Here's a little in the field experience. These pieces, PCD body, mix module, bushings, the rear packing seal, they're reasonably tiny. For some reason, when you drop them, they pick up speed and they go away. I don't know where they go, but they go away a long way. So try to eliminate removing pieces if you don't have to. If you want to start talking cost, the 3 pieces that you 100% have to protect, they start getting pretty spendy over time. Mixed modules runs on average about $100. Same with the valving rod. So try not to drop them, try not to lose them, and try not to damage them. So we've got our top set loosened up. I need to come in with my 1/2 inch at the bottom here, okay? And I need to loosen up my rear packing seal. Doesn't need much, just loose. I can reach in there and now I am finger loose, right? I can move it, twist it real easy, no problem right there. This is another one of those small parts and it's a dual part. if I take my valving rod out, if I loosen this all the way, this nut, I can loosen it all the way, it'll sit there until I remove the valving rod. When I remove the valving rod, it falls. And if the rear packing, which is another nylon bushing about the size of a BB, if that falls loose, that falls out also. Then you put it back together not knowing it, your gun starts leaking. So we've got it loose. Now we're going to go back to our 5/16 here. Okay. We're going to go in the back, start loosening our valving rod. Okay. You can sometimes hear it click when you run out of threads, and I'm going to put a little pressure and then back it out. I never want to use a tool, because it is going to be out in the front. You'll be able to access it and touch it from the front there. I never want to utilize a tool to push, never put anything in the front of it to push it out. Just put a little bit of pressure from your 5/16 and back it straight out. Okay? You're going to take your valving rod out, right? This is where another clean paper towels. I'm going to take my paper towel, clean this thing up. No chemical on it. Is free floating inside the whole system. The only part that touches chemical out of this whole valving rod is about this much of the end of it right here. That's it. That sits within the mix module. It only bypasses the B side inlet of your mix module by a very small amount, and the material goes out. When you release the trigger, this goes forward. Think of a squeegee, but in a circle, right? It's going to squeegee back forth, push the material out the end of the mix module. So I want to pay close attention to the front of it. Looking at this, hold it up in the light. If you need glasses, put those on. Looking for scarring, nicks, burrs, anything like that. Whatever damage you do to the valving rod is going to transfer over to the mix module, and you're going to have to buy two parts. So we've got it all cleaned up. Don't use a razor blade to get things off. Recommend using a solvent. You're going to want multiple of these because this can shut you down. If you damage this, break this, bend it, but bend it, this will shut you down. If you don't have a backup, now you're waiting on shipping to get a new one. So usually have one or two as backups, and you can rotate through them. You use it until it starts getting dirty, and then you put it into a solvent, let that soak, and then you just keep that going until they start to wear out. Over time, they will wear out. Metal will start to get soft. So this forward and backwards movement is going to start to wear out. Last check I'm going to do, two last checks at the very end of it, very front side of the valving rod, is going to be, think of a BB, a metal BB. Cut that in half, that's what it's going to look like. Now remember that half BB, keep that in mind, and I'll explain that when we put this thing back together. Okay, so we've got it all cleaned up, no problem, I can reuse this piece. I'm going to set it, if you have something flat, concrete doesn't count, asphalt doesn't count, set it on it and just run it back and forth. As long as it rolls smooth, I know that it's going to, I still have a lot of life left in it. If it wobbles as I roll it, I know that it's got to be replaced. So we're good here. I'm going to give this another cleaning inside. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Let's get this one. There we go. All right. So now these three are clean. Now I can take a flashlight. Most of the time you're out in the sun anyway. I'm going to visually inspect these. Okay. I don't want, when I clean, I don't get stuff off like that. That's the absolute incorrect way to get material off the inside of this. I want to use a pick, obviously, but I'm going at the very edge of it. I'm feeling for where that material sits and dries up or gets crusted, and it'll pick right off. You'll be able to knock it off real easy. You want to do that. The more you scar and damage the inside, the quicker you're going to take the life off of that piece of equipment. Now, using a wire brush, absolutely. You can go wire brush in the front and move that around if that helps. Larger one for the side, move that around, that helps. Spray it out with some carb cleaner, get stuff out of there, whatever breaks free. Over here, I can go into all the threads and check them, make sure there's nothing in it. Now, the A side let's see, the A side inlet is right here, okay? There is 2 sweeps. So material comes down the hose, up through the block, and then up through the your side seal here, goes into the mix module. Where it comes into the mix module, it comes in and it has a sweep that accommodates the outside of the mix module. Right? If not, you would have to line up a perfect hole, a 39,000th of an inch hole, with another hole and hope that it would stay 100% perfect right there. This sweep allows material to wrap up, encapsulates that A side of your mix module. It doesn't matter which way you put this thing in, it's going to work. So those 2 sweeps you're going to really want to clean. I don't know if I mentioned it in the beginning of the video, I do have a PowerPoint that is photos, still photos of all of this, close-up photos, which you'll be able to see the sweep, pointing to it with a pick. You'll be able to see where you need to clean, and it'll make a lot more sense. If you don't know about it, obviously next time you break your gun down, check it. ISO, as it dries up and starts getting hard and impacted inside the gun, it's dark in there, so it'll almost be the same color. So if you don't know it's there, no one's ever showed you that it's there, you just don't know. So it looks like normal metal and you wouldn't pick at it to get it away. But that will actually shut you down. It'll start changing your pressures and start closing that inlet line, that through tube. It'll start shutting that down. Then you're going to have no pressure coming in on one side. So we'll get that cleaned out, give it a quick spray. Good. Another visual inspection. Everything is good. My valving rod is good. Okay. So I'm going to take my mix module, my PCD body, my valving rod. I'm going to come right over here. Okay. Slide these tools out of the way. Now, you can see on this pin vise, I've got a long side right there and a short side. The reason I did this, you see a short side over the white and the long side. The reason I have it like that is I wanted to show the incorrect way of doing it for the mix module that you're going to be using for Geotech. This is too long. Right. This is going to go all the way through. That's going to go all the way through the mix module. You don't want to do that. You only want to go to the very center. You only have 2 holes to drill. You have your B, which is going to be the cone side, right? Looks, this side here is the cone. And then if I flip that around, you can see the steps. These are little ledges, 1, 2, 3, right off the end. I call that the top hat side. So we have a cone side and a top hat side, okay? So the reason I want that is I want, when I drill that out, I'll find the inlet. When I drill that out, that's as far as I want to go right there. It's just into the, you probably can't see the video, which is great. You will be able to see this on the photos. So this video will be on NCFI Geotechnical.com, but the PowerPoint will be on there, and it's very detailed photos on where, how far you're going to drill, right? So I'm going to take that out. I'm going to clean this off just in case there's any chemical left. I'm going to come around to the A side here. I'm going to do the same thing. Now when I'm doing that, we'll come back into the main video here. When I'm doing that, I'm looking down the center of my mix module, kind of like a sight, right? I want to see through that hole. I want to see that drill bit sticking just into the middle. I don't need it to go all the way across. I don't need it to go to the other side. I never want it to. So I'm looking in the middle, drill, pull it out, and I'm looking. Normally if there's some debris, some garbage left over, quick spray, double check, okay, I'm good. All right, we'll come back over here, PCD body. Now, I'm gonna go through my PCD body, checking the edges, make sure there's no garbage in there. Cool, we're good. I already know this is good. Set that down. So we know the gun is clean now. All 3 of these parts are clean. That's what I'm gonna do here. I take a little dab of Graco grease. We recommend Graco or PMC grease. Now, if you are in a pinch and you have to get a job done, you cannot pull off, you can't do anything, yes, it is fine to use white lithium. I absolutely don't recommend white lithium grease on anything that comes in contact with ISO or A-side for extended periods of time. Short amount, perfectly fine, but don't leave it. So when you get done, go back to the yard and clean it up. Right? So, mix module. I'm going to take a very, very small amount of grease, just enough. Right? I'm going to run it around the edges of that on the top hat side. Okay? Here we go. It's on the top hat side. And here's my PCD body. I'm going to put these back together. Okay? So, line that up, and it slips in right there. Now, dual purpose. One is make your job easier, right? So when I go to take these apart, manufacturer's recommendation is you got to clean the gun every single day that you use it. Now, if you go extended periods of time without doing that, you can get buildup of a little bit of material in between both of these that will get hard. It'll solidify in there. Once it does, it makes it very tough to remove a plastic part from a metal part without damaging the plastic. So that grease is gonna, right now I can feel it rotating around in there. I can spin it. That grease is gonna protect that and make my job easier Friday when I clean the gun. I'm not gonna have to fight it. Secondary is, here I am working my clean space right here, my workspace. My gun is in the vise 4 feet that way. Remember what I said about these parts? When you drop them, they pick up speed. Now these two don't fall apart. They stick together, right? So put a little bit of grease. I go 4 feet back over here to the front, and I'll be able to reinstall that without that mix module falling out, picking up speed, and disappearing. Okay, so we'll set that to the side. Back over here, I'm going to take my grease right here. In the PowerPoint, you will see, I don't have one, we can do it. Okay, grease, valving rod. This is 100% incorrect. It fits and makes a mess, but this isn't UPS, or US Postal, so it fits, it ships. That's not the way it works here, right? So I'm going to clean all this off because I don't want that extra grease getting inside and gumming up my system. Right? I don't want that extra grease having to be forced into my mix module and damaging that. So we're clean. These threads right there, the very back, that's it. That's all that needs grease. Okay, so I'll take a dab of grease, run it onto the threads, go a little extra there. Okay, and then I just run that around. I'm twisting and rotating this, making sure that grease gets into the threads, like that, and that's it, right? So that part is greased. Now, we'll come back over here. I'm gonna set this down, and we'll switch guns real quick. Okay. Let's see, relatively in frame here. So, where the back of this valving rod connects is in the back of this gun here. You can see I'm going to go ahead and point in, maybe behind this spring in the back there. That's the only part that touches until you come out the front of the gun, and it goes up in here and through the rear packing. Okay, the rest of it isn't touching anything. It's just free floating in there. Right? So I don't need all that extra grease drying out, getting gummed up, blowing off, getting inside the gun, gumming it up over time, because it will start to break down over time. Okay, so my threads are greased. I'm going to take that and I'm going to send this back into the gun. Okay, now my 5/16, I'm going to take that, push it in, need a little bit of space in there for it to mate up to those threads, and I'm going to start screwing this thing in. The second these threads stop and it seats, That's as far as you need to go. You don't need to crank it in. You don't need to seat it. You don't got to go real hard. So we'll start turning this in. Okay, right there. So that's it. I don't need to, right, that's it, right there. I don't need to force this in. I just need it to seat. Now the reason we put that on there is that since that's the only part that touches, that's the only part that needs to be able to break free. Now, if you go to take this out, you're on somebody else's truck, somebody didn't get trained right, and you go to loosen the valving rod, and this piece right here spins. Let's turn this to the side. Okay. This piece spins, a silver piece right here. That would tell you that whoever put this in seated it too hard, or they didn't use grease and it got dry and two pieces of metal dried out and they're just kind of sticking to each other, right? You're going to put a wrench on this and you're going to break your valving rod free. Usually isn't seated like rusted shut, it just sticks. You got to move it a little bit, get it to break free, all right? So we're set there. Now I'm going to set this aside. I've already prepped my mix module and PCD body. Now, the three parts that you have to 100% protect, I'm going to manipulate two of these. I'm not a robot. I'm not a factory machine. I can't do 100% perfect. Yep, I can get my module on to where it goes onto the valving rod. Now, when I got to push this in, it takes quite a bit of force because these are machine fit, very, very slight tolerances. It's going to move, and as I move, I'm going to flex my valving rod. I don't want that. If the valving rod is flexing, I'm opening up the inside hole. I'm changing the inside diameter in the mating surface of my mix module. I can create a leak. So, with my valving rod in there, this is going to be two hands right here. Obviously, this is going to be in a vise, so I have air hooked up. Now, let's turn this to the side. Somebody's in the way here. Get out. Okay, I'm going to pull the trigger. Watch the valving rod right here in the front. Goes away. There it is. Goes away. There it is. Okay. So what I'm going to do is now we're facing forward here. I'm going to take my PCD body, make the valving rod go away. It's not touching. Now I can just screw this on, hand tight. I'm still holding the air down, okay? Because I want that valving rod out of the way. Now I'm taking my 5/8 and I'm gonna lock this back on my PCD body. Okay. So that's seated. Obviously, this is just hand tight for right here. I don't have the leverage that I needed, but when I release it, you'll see on this side camera here, you can see very front is no silver piece, right? Because that valving rod is at the very, very back, and it's a perfect straight. I'm using machined threads to screw that piece in. It's going on perfectly straight. Now, if I release this trigger right now, that valving rod, because it's machined to go perfectly straight, is going to go straight through that. And there it is. You can see the valving rod coming out. Okay. Now, remember when I was talking about the end of the valving rod, picturing a metal BB cut in half. Okay. That is going to be what you see right here, the very front. That's all I want sticking out. I can make it to where it sticks out usually about 1/4 of an inch, I think, is about the furthest you can push this out by adjusting the throw of it, the depth. I don't want that. The smallest amount, usable amount of valving rod that I can have sticking out is all I want, which is about 1/2 of a BB. So when you look at it, it's 1/2 a BB, great. I know I have my adjustment still loose. Back here, my rear packing nut is still loose, right? So it's not putting pressure on that. Behind this rear packing nut is another BB, but this one is a nylon, a little white nylon one. And it makes a seal outwards when this is compressed and inwards around the valving rod itself, right? So that seals up the rear side, the B side. So I know I've got my adjustment correct. We're gonna give it the old barbecue tongue test, right? So give it 1 or 2, 3 times. It resets perfect to the spot that I want it. I know I'm good. So I know I'm good. I'm gonna take my 5/16. I'm gonna set my screw up here. Firm pressure. I don't need it to where it goes to stop. Remember, it's your metal to plastic to brass. I don't need it smashed in there, okay? So that's good. Now I need to do my rear packing seal. I'm gonna take this and go hand tight. I want that hand tight right there. Now, torque settings on this through Graco and PMC is 1/6 of a turn. Picture the top part of a nut, the corner of a nut, and then this next side. If this is vertical, this is the 12 o'clock position, I need 1/6 of a turn. I'm gonna go from flat to corner. That's it. That's 1/6 of a turn. So right now I am showing about the top corner. So I'm gonna take that, and now I'm flat at the top. So I've got 1/6 of a turn. I know that compression that I'm creating inside is perfect for the outward flare and the inward flare around that valving rod. Okay, so I'm set there. I can take I don't need to have that off anymore. I'm gonna put my safety back on. Now I can start working on the side seals, right? Remember the notches? I'm looking for a notch on this one. It doesn't have it. That tells me this is B. Remember, it's Friday. It's Friday at 3:50. I want to go home. I don't want to fight stuff. It could be Monday at 3:50. I don't want to fight equipment. I'm putting grease on it. Yes, it is the B side. Make your job easy. Make your life easy. Take the stress out of working on this stuff. Right? So I'm going to take this in, run it in by hand. That leaves only one. A side always gets grease. Threads and the seal here. I recommend anything that ever comes in contact with ISO should have grease on it, especially anything with threads. Yeah, so it'll just make your job that much easier. Okay. Now I take these in by hand. Use a rag. At least for me, it makes it easy because it gets that excess grease off there. Throw that in the trash can. Take the pressure off of it. Save the equipment, right? So I'm going to take the force off of that, pushing and pulling. Okay, my B side is seated. Spin around. My A side, push and pull. I can get it lined up. There we go. Okay, so mental check. My safety's on. My top seat or set screw is set and tightened. I've got 1/6 of a turn on my rear packing seal. Both my side seals are seated and my PCD body is seated. Everything works. Okay, so now get this thing back into service. What I'm going to do, I've got all this hooked up. I need to go back to work. I'm going to go back in, repressurize the machine. If you release pressure from it through the recirc valves or something, repressurize it, balance it, make sure your heats are where they need to be. I'm going to come back to the gun. I never want to open this and go pressure it and then come back to the gun. Because if I'm doing somebody's house, if I'm in somebody's house, I rebuilt the gun, I take it in there, I go back out and repressurize everything. By the time I get in there, if I didn't tighten something tight enough and I'm leaking, that's a problem inside somebody's house. Business. Anyway, it's not good. So I'll go ahead and leave my manual valves closed because I know those aren't leaking. Go pressurize my system, balance it. I'm going to come out, gun over in the back of the truck, over a piece of cardboard, over a trash can, whatever. I'm going to open up one manual valve. We'll say the B side. I'm going to open up the B side. I'm going to give it a few seconds. Introduce pressure. Remember, we cleaned everything out of these, right? So now I'm introducing pressure all the way up to the valving rod. So now I've got 1200 PSI all the way to the valving rod on one side of it. Give it a few seconds. Look at the back, look around the rear packing. That's where the B is going to discharge from if you had a leak. Look at your side seal. Okay, good. I'm great there. I'm going to take my 5/16. Now I'm going to open up my A side. I'm going to do the same thing. Give it 5-10 seconds. Look around. A side is Going to leak from the front. That's where the hole is. Your B side comes in here and your A side comes in here. They're offset a little ways and they're separated by a ridge of the mix module, right? So I want to make sure. Not leaking, I'm good. I'm going to give it one throw. Not leaking out the tip. I know I can go back to work now. Before I do, I want to verify that everything I just did is 100% pressure, that's going to get me back to work. Grab a trash bag, 5-second shot, 7-second shot into a trash bag, test bag. Make sure my pressures stay on. As long as my pressures stay equal or even, I know I'm good to go back to work. Majority of the time, your problem is going to be sitting right inside here. After here, more than likely it's going to be the wise drainer. So this is going to be our first place to check. And a lot of times when customers call in and, we're having problems with this, and this is where I'm going to start. Unless there's something that defines, hey, this is it's not holding pressure, it's bleeding by, or something, something is definitive that's machine wise or inlet wise. It's majority of the time the pressure problem is going to be right here. So that's going to put you back to work. Now, let's see, how long have we been going? It's 42 minutes. I appreciate you guys sticking around for that, especially the new guys. I know it's a lot. Yes, this is 42 minutes. Expect your first couple times, expect 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Expect that to happen. You want to take your time. You're going to protect those 3 parts, right? Once you do this a handful of times, you're going to be able to knock this thing out 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and you're right back to work, almost no delay. So that's going to get you back to work. There is one caveat, and this is going to be a following video, but I'm going to go through this. If it is a brand spanking new mix module, not one that you've been using, a brand spanking new mix module, it has to be drilled out twice on the A side. Let me go into that. Same kind of scenario. You're going to break the gun down. You have to clean it. You have to get the material out. You're going to take a brand new mix module, usually a brand new valving rod. Excuse me. You're going to put that in your valving rod. Excuse me. Now my mix module, I'm going to drill out the B side 39,000th of an inch. I'm going to drill out my A side 39,000th of an inch. I'm hoping this is going to be able to show it here on this one. It kind of does. All right, so you can see here, this is where we're looking. This is the cone side right here. There's a bunch of space in there. That cone side is where the B connects, okay? The A side connects just shy of the PCD body right up at the front here. Remember the top hat that goes inside the PCD body? That whole section is what smashes everything together, right? It compresses everything and makes that pressure fitting so you don't have A going to B and B going to A, creating crossover. So what happens, take a brand new module, 39,000th of an inch on the A and B, I put it in, I put my PCD body on and seat it. Now it's compressed. So I take that 39,000th of an inch that I just drilled and verified, and I compress it. I make it smaller. So now what I have to do is take my PCD body off, re-drill only the A side, because the B side, remember, it's floating around in that chamber. Now I have to re-drill that A side. Once that A side, and you'll feel it. Once you have brand spanking new module, 39,000, okay, great, put it in, compress it. When I take it off and try and re-drill the A side, you'll feel, hey, I have to actually work to push that drill bit through there. What'll happen if I don't do that, I go and pressure it up, perfect pressure. Say that I'm set at 1100, whatever. If I'm set at 1100, I go to pull that trigger, it's going to stay on for a few seconds and then it's going to start pushing. A is going to go a little bit higher because it's forcing material to go through that A. It's not allowing them to go through because I've compressed it without taking it out and re-drilling it. You want to put good chemical, you want to stay on pressure, you want to stay on ratio, right? So that's the only caveat with a brand new module. And any questions on that, we can walk you through it very easily. So especially for the new guys coming into a GX-7 or a PX-7. But so that should get you guys up and running relatively easily. Like I said, this video, yes, it is long. Hopefully you're going to get some good information out of this, something that might help your new guys out, something that might save you cost on parts, changing policy on how, you've been doing something, maybe kind of streamlining it and helping you guys out. So for all the NCFI customers that are out there, we thank you. We greatly appreciate it. For all the customers and potential customers that are out there that are just curious, give us a call. We would love to have your business. We'd be very, very thankful for it. And hopefully we could do something really good for you. End of this video, we're going to put up a couple, maybe one or two different slides that are going to be contact information for myself and Ronnie Simmons. I work here in Houston. Ronnie Simmons is out of North Carolina at our North Carolina plant. I'm here at the Houston plant. And then we'll put up some information for our actual tech service, which is in Mount Airy, North Carolina. A fantastic group of people there, beyond knowledgeable about all this stuff. So we'll put that up. The video will be up on our website, NCFI Geotechnical, and then also the PowerPoint. If you don't want to listen to me ramble on, you can just stare at videos. I don't have any sound or video or music put to that. So dealer's preference on that one. But as always, thank you guys. I appreciate your time. Stay blessed. Thank you.